Welcome to the Stairway to Heaven. We're coming to you on X-Zone TV and Simul TV from our broadcast studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, with the latest updates on the increasing frequencies impacting us all. Stairway to Heaven is the source of vital information for the evolving human being. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Life and death in the fast lane. It seems as we move further into the long-awaited Aquarian Age, time is compressing, rules are changing, and assumed truths are proving false. As a result, we're experiencing much confusion and upheaval as systems fail. This is a far cry from what many of us were led to expect from the New Age. Not so long ago, when envisioning the new era, many New Age thinkers spoke about a time of unity, enlightenment, and nirvana magically appearing, whereby all the greed, strife, hate, violence, and injustice would simply go away. Those who are believers in the new way need do nothing more than stay as they were and hold the faith. With the dawning of the new era, they would automatically be united and uplifted, ascending to a beautiful, pristine new earth. Those who did not adhere to that school of thought would be left behind to wallow in the old polluted earth, never to be seen again. After all, it would not do to have the non-believers soil Shangri-La with their coarse nature. The aforementioned vision of the future overlooked one small factor. We must shed the frequency of one reality before ascending or descending into another. This doesn't just happen automatically because the ages shift. Granted, the Aquarian Age provides a different set of frequencies which support unity and enlightenment. However, to participate, we must be able to resonate with the increasing frequency. This requires work. Deep, personal inner work that's neither easy nor comfortable. The new era is not for the faint of heart. So what is this frequency shift associated with the ages? The age of Aquarius isn't part of astronomy. It's an astrological age. There are 12 astrological ages which shift from one to the other roughly every 2,150 years. The shift in ages results from the motion of the Earth known as the precession of equinoxes. The ages are named after constellations. They change when the Sun's location at the time of the vernal equinox moves in front of a new zodiac constellation. A new age might be said to begin at that point. However, no one seems to be able to agree upon exactly when that is. Astrologically speaking, every constellation holds a variant frequency configuration that impacts the Earth in somewhat predictable ways. Therefore, the astrological ages serve as a mapping of frequency and their impact on human affairs. Nothing is static. Everything out there is in motion. Not only does the Earth cyclically pass through the ages of different astrological influence, but the Sun travels in a recurring fashion through its portion of the galaxy. The galaxy itself is also in motion as it spirals out from the Big Bang, if you will. Earth's relative positioning to other heavenly bodies impacts her ambient frequency. In addition, at different positions in the galaxy, there are varying frequencies that impact the Sun and through it, interplanetary space. So how does this affect us? Well, look at it this way. If I go on a road trip from Mexico to Canada in the winter, I can expect many weather and temperature changes. These changes will impact me on many levels, from what clothing will be required to the driving conditions I'll encounter. Even the length of day and time zones will vary. I'll have to adjust my behavior accordingly. My body will have to adjust to different temperatures, length of day, weather patterns, and food. I'll need to take the appropriate actions to support it. I'll be exposed to many new sights and experiences that I must process mentally and emotionally. Just so, as we move from the frequency of one age into another, many changes take place. We need to make various adjustments to be healthy, present, and participate in the new environment. According to Russian scientist Dr. Dmitriev, the Sun is currently moving into a portion of the galaxy where it encounters an area of higher frequency. The increase in charge is causing an excitation of the plasma on the leading edge of the Sun's heliosphere, instigating more plasma to form, and resulting in more luminosity, aka higher frequency. The The energy is also flowing into the Sun through its electromagnetic field, causing it to emit increased frequency along its equatorial plane and saturating interplanetary space. Solar emissions travel much more quickly, charging up the energy or frequency of the planets as their electromagnetic fields interact with that of the Sun. This increased frequency not only radiates to the Earth's surface from the Sun, but is fed to the core of the Earth through the electromagnetic field as the Sun's field interfaces with that of the Earth. Subsequently, the elevated frequency emanates from the Earth's core to its surface. The Sun radiates the increased frequency to the surface of the Earth's core radiates the same upward to her surface. We're stuck in the middle, being bombarded with the elevated frequency from the heavens and from the Earth. Sorry, those tinfoil hats won't protect anyone from this. Reality, like all other things, expresses according to frequency. Due to genetic factors, sustained damage, and personal lifestyle, everyone's frequency is slightly different. Ergo, we all experience a slightly different reality. Conspiracy theorists experience a world of conspiracy. Flat earthers will experience a flat earth, and so on. The reality we perceive depends upon our personal frequency, not the totality of frequency present. The more variant one's frequency is from the ambient frequency, the less accurate their reality and more difficult to maintain. The degree of divergence also dictates how fully we can participate in the common denominator reality. The greater the discrepancy between our personal frequency and that currently on the planet, the more friction we will experience on all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Friction wears things out. When our frequency and therefore our reality is extremely divergent from the one present on the planet, we're limited in our ability to perceive or participate in the common denominator reality. As an analogy, let's consider the Earth's ambient frequency, the keyboard on a piano, and personal frequency, a musical score to be played on that keyboard. As long as our score stays between the highest note and the lowest note on the keyboard, it can be played in its entirety. To the degree our musical score falls below the lowest or above the highest note, the ability to play our score in this reality is diminished. At the same time, we can only perceive the notes in our personal score. The rest of reality is invisible to us. What's now taking place on the planet is like the entire keyboard shifting higher. Regardless of where we were on the continuum, if we don't tune up to match the change, we'll eventually drop off the low end and be unable to participate fully, if at all. Well, that's life in the fast lane. Now let's discuss death in the fast lane. The friction caused by the growing discrepancy between our personal frequency and the ambient one will put increasing stress on all of our systems until we can no longer maintain physical life, much less emotional, mental, or spiritual health. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health is related to our position within the ambient frequency bandwidth. When we fall behind the rise in frequency on the planet, it becomes increasingly difficult to function, much less thrive. The increasing stress from the frequency discrepancy puts much pressure on our physical body, compromising our physical health. Mentally, our perceptions of reality becomes less and less accurate until we're delusional. Our emotions destabilize with our deteriorating health and mental capacity until we become paranoid and volatile. All of this compromises our spiritual energetic level or personal frequency, causing it to drop further. When we fall too far below the ambient frequency bandwidth, we cannot maintain physical life. Falling off the keyboard altogether results in death. But the problems don't stop there. When our bodies die, in order for our consciousness to cross over to the spirit or energetic level, we must bring our personal frequency up to match that reality. This necessitates us climbing back up the frequency scale. The process of climbing back up the frequency scale requires us to address compromises on all four levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. If our frequency is dropped to the point we've deceased, the physical becomes a non-issue. However, we still must move through the other three. Moving through the remaining levels is characterized by the Tibetan concept of the bardo, or the Catholic concept of purgatory. At each place our frequency has been compromised during our lifetime, say for instance through trauma, we must revisit the memory and the emotion of the event to process it and reclaim our lost frequency and pass through to the next level. This results in the life review many near-death experiencers report, whereby the life passes before their eyes. One advantage to the Aquarian Age and the current position of the Sun is that the ambient frequency on Earth is increasing to the point of becoming less polarized, supporting unity and enlightenment. This provides the opportunity to ascend to a higher level of consciousness without leaving our bodies behind. Unsurprisingly, the process is much the same as dying, sans ditching our physical body. As long as we're physically alive, we can choose to roll up our sleeves and begin the process of climbing back up the frequency ladder. This process involves addressing the frequency compromises on all 4 levels and can result in a life review. Frequency compromises on the physical level result from exposure to anything not found in the natural order. That includes what we eat, drink, breathe, or expose our bodies to, such as EMFs, GMOs, chemicals, preservatives, pesticides, processed foods, air pollution, and so on. In this day and age, it's nearly impossible to avoid all the above. But addressing all we can gives our body the ability to raise its frequency, increasing our physical health. There's more about supporting our physical evolution in Stairway to Heaven Vignette number 7, Sugar in the Gas Tank. Lockdown judgments and thought forms compromise our mental flexibility and therefore our frequency. They keep our reality fixed and unable to accommodate the higher truths and concepts made available by the increased frequency. For more information on mental level, reference the Stairway to Heaven Vignette number 3, The Evolving Brain. Putting emotions in denial requires compartmentalization, resulting in a lack of mobility. Holding grudges, entitlement, and lack of gratitude is emotionally crippling. Unprocessed trauma freezes us in the past and prevents evolving with the times. You can find out more on emotional processing and tools to achieve it in the Stairway to Heaven Vignette number 8, How Do You Really Feel? Our spiritual level is our energetic level, where we can interface with the quantum level, enabling us to manage the push-pull of our lives. This allows us to draw in what we want or need and repel that which does not serve or would be harmful before it manifests physically. At lower frequencies, we lose our connection to this level and with it, our ability to energetically manage our lives. By clearing compromises on the physical, mental, and emotional levels, we can raise our overall frequency. Eventually, we will reach the point where we once again have access to spirit and the power and guidance to be found there. There's more on the ascension process in Stairway to Heaven Vignette number 2, Ascension. The good news? The more we process while alive, the less we must deal with during our life review at the time of death. This can result in a more graceful, joyous crossing. However, the largest benefit is through active participation in the ascension process while alive, enabling us to become much more than we have formerly been as individuals and as a species. After all, a master did promise, "Truly, truly, I say unto you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do, and greater works than these will he do." Thank you for joining me, Gwilda Wiyaka, on the Stairway to Heaven, where we provide updates on the energetic currents facilitating our evolution into conscious, powerful co-creators. As I'm sure you've noticed, not only do the Stairway to Heaven episodes stand alone, but they weave together to form a map to evolution and personal empowerment as we enter the new era. To revisit this or any of our past episodes with our compliments, visit our archives at www.stairwaytoheavenmedia.com. If you'd like to find out more about me, my school, and the evolutionary tools we offer, visit www.findyourpathhome.com. Until next time, may you be blessed on your sacred path to wholeness. We are here. The time is now.